Welcome to the third stop of the Four Deserts Race Series, the international ultra-marathon series that travels to unique places around the world. This time we're at the Atacama Desert in northern Chile, the driest non-polar desert in the world. It's also one of the driest places on Earth. The course of the Atacama Crossing has a wide variety of terrains. Competitors will have to race 250 kilometers over 6 stages, taking in sand dunes, river crossings, gravel, loose rocks, hard-packed earth, and even waist-high grass. This is in addition to the infamous salt flats, described as frozen broccoli or a ploughed field that will challenge even the most dexterous of runners to cross at full speed. An international field of competitors were ready for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Among them were the favourites to win, including Zandy Mangold, who was 4th in the Atacama Crossing 2012 and 2nd in 2015, Ben Fox, 5th in the Gobi March 2017, and Sahara Race, who achieved podium finishes at the Gobi March 2015, Sahara Race 2016 and the Last Desert Race 2016. There were also athletes with great stories to tell and a passion for life, including Vladimir dos Santos, a blind runner from Brazil. There are also those who compete year after year. Ash Mokhtari is participating in the Atacama Crossing for the 9th year running, proving the Atacama Crossing is a race you cannot miss.
The Atacama Desert is the driest desert on the planet. It doesn't rain here. Some locations haven't received any rain for almost 200 years. So it's a challenge being here because of the lack of moisture, and it makes it difficult to run in high altitude desert. At the same time, it's very dry and it gets extremely hot during the day. Nights are really cold. So basically that's the Atacama Desert.
Competitors met in the host town, the wonderful oasis of San Pedro de Atacama, for their equipment check before moving to the first camp in the Acros Valley. It's where the start of the first stage began.
We are at Camp 1, Rio Grande, which is in the beautiful Rainbow Valley, just about to start the Atacama Crossing, which will officially begin tomorrow, October 1st, where competitors have come from all over the world, 34 countries actually, to this tiny little place just out of San Pedro, where they're going to be running 250 kilometers across the Atacama Desert.
In the first stage, the competitors started at the highest altitude of the course, 3,206 meters, and have to cover 36.4 kilometers. They run down the valley through a wide variety of terrains, starting with rolling hills and moving to open terrain, before crossing a small canyon, finishing with a walk up an old Inca trading road.
It's just phenomenal. It's something that I've never seen before. I'm from the United States and I've seen pictures of things this beautiful, but I've never seen anything like it. And there were moments where literally I was running and had to stop and just take it in because it was just almost too much. It was just gorgeous.
After 4 hours, 9 minutes and 11 seconds, Zandy Mangold was first over the finish line, while Angela Zayech was the first woman to cross the finish marker.
Came in first place, which was a surprise to me. I just kind of went at my own pace and I tried to run what I could because the terrain is so difficult. Some parts you simply can't run, but when I could, I definitely tried to take advantage of that.
The Atacama Crossing is a very demanding race, as the competitors have to run almost a marathon per day on a variety of terrains at one of the driest places on Earth. Completing it is sometimes not possible. However, returning to end unfinished business is even harder.
I was here in 2014. I had very, very bad blisters so I couldn't finish the race. I finished up to finished day four, but I couldn't do the long march because my blisters were really bad and they were just filled up with sand. So 3 years later, I'm here, a little bit more experienced, and I'm determined to finish this time. I'm just thinking day by day and just looking after my feet and taking it day by day. It's a little bit better this year. It's not as hot, I think, but I don't know. The next few days may be a little hotter. It's been challenging with the wind, and of course the sand is always challenging, but it's beautiful here, so I'm really enjoying myself.
The next 3 stages saw the competitors facing new and different challenges, giving those taking part an experience they'll never forget, with these breathtaking views. They crossed the slot of canyons of San Pedro River, through a tunnel to the Valley of Death, down to a huge sand dune. Then a run across sandy and slate terrain, with canyons and dunes beside the cliffs at the foot of the mountains, before passing through Tambillo Forest and ending at Laguna Tebinquince.
You never know what's going to come around the next corner, except that you assume it's going to be worse than the last section that you just did. So there's always, it goes from road to salt flats and crunchy, to rocks, to sand dunes, to every single section is completely different to the last. And it's so unlike anything I've ever run on or moved across before. It's quite incredible.
More than 80 staff members and volunteers are part of the Atacama Desert Crossing, and without them, the athletes couldn't compete safely. Some of them enjoy this experience so much they come back as athletes, so they can experience the uniqueness of this race.
As a volunteer, I find it really interesting supporting all the competitors. But the whole time I was volunteering, I wanted to be taking part myself.
As a competitor now, I feel like I'm the really supported one, the special one. And it's wonderful to be able to see the entire course. It's gorgeous. It's tough, but I'm really enjoying it. It's wonderful.
My first experience with Racing the Planet was on the medical team at Atacama in 2013. Despite that, it has actually inspired me to do this race because people overcome all those things. They will have blisters, they will have soreness, they will have aches and pains, and they will persevere. And I thought, you know, if these people can do it, so can I.
There are many interesting stories from interesting people who have joined the Atacama Crossing 2017. The most inspiring is the story of Vladimir dos Santos from Brazil, a runner who lost his vision 30 years ago. He paired with Aniceto de Almeida, who traveled more than 5,000 kilometers riding a bike to compete in this race.
I lost vision 30 years ago, and now I finish on difficult stage here. I just wish my family here for see this. I know have vision, but I see with my heart, always my heart.
Back to the race action and to the Long March, the toughest stage of the Atacama Crossing, as competitors covered 71 kilometers in the desert, almost double the distance of every other stage so far.
The Long March so far is definitely living up to its reputation. The heat is pretty bad down there, especially with that mileage in your legs from 4 days. The climb up that dune just absolutely zaps you.
Over large dunes, across tough terrains, and through a variance in temperature, the athletes ran all day, and most of them during the night to complete the Long March. Completing the Long March of Atacama Crossing was the final obstacle for a number of athletes from becoming members of the Four Deserts Club, a club of people that have finished the Sahara Race, the Gobi March, the Atacama Crossing, and the Last Desert. What an achievement!
已经参加了2014年的极地长征撒哈拉， 2015年的戈壁，2016年的南极，还有这一站的阿塔卡马4站的极地长征。我们4位兄弟组成了厦门大学代表队。我们在4年的比赛当中，认真刻苦坚持，克服了重重的困难，使我们也达到了一定的成绩。
The final act of the Atacama Crossing found the athletes finishing in the central square of San Pedro. The overall winner was Zandy Mangold, who managed to win all the stages. Second to Danny Svichnik and third to Ben Fox.
I feel a great sense of relief, joy, gratitude, all at the same time. I couldn't have done this on my own. I'm just grateful for so many people to help me get here.
First in for the women was Angela Zach, second to Kathy Arid, who with this finish joins the Four Deserts Club, and third to Ita Marzotto.
I feel amazing now. We're done. It was a pretty tough week, but I feel pretty good now. We had the whole day to rest yesterday. The day before, the long day, was probably the hardest. It's amazing today, but it was an interesting, challenging, beautiful, but tiring week.
Another great Four Deserts event came to an end, with athletes and volunteers celebrating the finish of Atacama Crossing 2017.
It's been a great week at the Atacama Crossing. It's definitely one of our favorite races. Love coming back every year. And again, we have 85 very, very happy competitors who have just received their finisher medals, and we're very proud and happy to witness all that.